hear it right now.
You okay?
Right now.
Alright, okay. So, this morning's group is called Creating Magic. Okay. Just so, obviously for the camera, this is not part of Kaleidoscope's or Birchwood's normal program. Okay. I have set this sort of group up, teaching session independently. Okay. I have a website, and you can at the end I'll give you the web address, and you can go onto the website and have a look at all the videos that I've got on here now. And also there's a gallery then of pictures with motivational quotes, inspirational sort of stuff. Okay. So, definition of magic. The Oxford Dictionary or the Merriam-Webster Dictionary says magic is basically a series of special words, special actions which cause transformation. One of the big reasons why we're all here, okay, because we want to transform from who we were into something completely different. Okay, we want to become new people. We want to create a life which is less ordinary than what we've been living up until this point. So creating magic, okay, is primarily about us using special words, special actions to move forward. So you'll all be aware that you've been attending groups left, right and centre with whatever agency you've been in with before. You've been attending groups here. And the reason why you're attending the groups is because you want to change. You want to make a different life. You want to learn where you've come from so you can avoid making the same mistakes moving forward. So the purpose of this morning, okay, is to get you to understand your picture, your language and your emotion. So picture, language and emotion is basically how we think. Everything that you know, everything that you've done, everything that you've achieved has primarily been because, right, of the way that we've been programmed up until this point. Now, it's okay. I'm 54 years of age, right? And, quite a lot, I start thinking, oh, my mother used to do that. Yeah, if I start behaving in a particular way, or my father did that. I'm turning into my parents. How did that happen? But it's because, right, as we get older, we start to reflect, reminisce, look back a little bit more than we do when we're younger. Okay. So, I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey, okay? Obviously I'm Welsh, yeah, I do like a good story. I started telling them a story this morning about 2 Welsh rugby fans. But we won't say that for the camera.
Hey.
Okay, bit of a journey. So when we're born, the only things that we're born with, okay, is the fear of loud noise and the fear of falling. Everything else is learned behaviour. You're not born with any language. You're not born with, motor skills or anything. You're just there. You're at the mercy of the universe. And if you think about it, for the last 9 months, okay, you've been cocooned in a nice, warm, watery-based sort of cave. Yeah? My partner calls it the baby cave. Yeah? Baby cave. And essentially, okay, the only things that that you're aware of, okay, is a little bit of noise from the outside. But you don't have any language skills. So it's just noise. Yeah? So if you think, there you are, you've just come out of the birth canal, you've been pulled out, yeah, and the midwife picks you up. Well, fear of falling. Baby does this.
Yeah.
They're going to drop me, what's going on? Help! The midwives, the doctors, the parents, the You know, the cleaners, everybody from outside, they all come in and go, oh, what a lovely baby. Loud noise, baby goes, wow. So within 5 minutes of being born, like, we've been subjected to the two biggest fears. So as we go forward, we know that the next sort of 18 to 24 months are the most intensive learning curve of our lives. Because we have to learn how to walk, we have to learn how to communicate with the big people, and all this is learned, all this, we mirror what's going on around us. So I always think life is a little bit like the Wizard of Oz. And we think about the story of the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. There she is, this 12-year-old girl in Kansas. And she's having a life of bliss. Okay, she's living with Auntie Em and Uncle Frank. Right? Toto, the dog, the best friend. And there they are, just swimming around nicely. Okay? And one day the neighbour comes along, the neighbour's the Wicked Witch. We eventually, discover. But the neighbour comes along and says, your dog has been biting me, he's been biting the neighbours, right? I want something to happen to it, I want it to go. Auntie Em and Uncle Frank, be the decent people they are, say, oh well, okay, not really sure, what we should do, you better take the dog with you. So Dorothy is distraught. And this is our first life lesson, Life is not always good, things happen, And Dorothy, at 12 years of age, doesn't have the emotional capacity at the moment to be able to deal with this. So the dog goes off with the woman in the basket. I don't know if you all remember the music from the film.
Of course, yeah.
Still scares me now, 40 years after I've seen it. Dorothy runs off down the road after the woman. Toto, Toto, I want Toto back. The dog, right, has more sense than most of us, just gets out of the basket and runs back to the farmyard. But Dorothy meets the flim-flam artist, okay? The seller of snakeskin oils and, and all that sort of stuff. And if you think about it, this is something that happens for us, isn't it? Right? As we get older, we meet the flim-flam artist. We go into the chemists, into the different places, and they say, well, alcohol's good for this, or heroin's good for that, or, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, most of it's rubbish. You don't need it, okay? So Dorothy comes back and is distraught. Comes back to the farmyard, goes into the house, and then there's Toto. And Dorothy is like this, oh, my best friend's back. And she gets all emotional, starts crying. Second life lesson. Goes down, comes back up. We will be on an emotional roller coaster. Now Dorothy, like I said earlier on, right, is 12 years of age, so she doesn't have the capacity to be able to deal with this. But we're much older, so now we can start learning how to control our emotions. So the storm hits, and the house gets taken off from Kansas to Oz. Gets deposited, and she's killed the Wicked Witch. Dorothy is like, oh my God, I don't know what to do.
Drop the shoes, that's what she did.
Eventually. So, the journey begins, okay, the yellow brick road, okay. She's got to follow the yellow brick road to get to the magical city of Oz. And along the way she meets a myriad of different people. Remember the first person she meets?
Scarecrow.
Did that without opening your mouth?
Oh, fab.
Yeah,
The Scarecrow hasn't got a brain, has he? Head full of straw.
absolutely.
How many times through life do we get told, oh, it's stupid, or, what do you think you're doing? What are you thinking about? Why have you done that? Second person she meets,
Tin Man.
it's the Tin Man. Hasn't got a heart. How many times through life have we been called cruel or heartless?
Yeah.
Why did you do that to me? Why? And the last person then is,
Lion.
put him a...
Yeah.
Put him a... Got no courage, is he? He's scared of everything. How many times through life have we been told, what are you scared of? How many times have we told ourselves What are we scared of? Why can't I face this? Why do I need to keep on doing this all the time? So they carry on down the Elbit Road, okay, and they defeat the second witch and the flying monkeys, they chuck a bucket of water over, they get through the opium field, the poppy field, yeah, and they get to the Emerald City, and they meet the wizard. The wizard is the flim flam artist, who she met.
In the door.
Yeah, in Kansas.
Yeah.
And he says to the scarecrow, I hereby give you this certificate, okay, you are now the brainiest person in Oz.
Yeah.
And the scarecrow starts spouting off Pythagoras and, you know, multi-layered physics.
Yeah.
And he gives to the Tin Man, he gives him a
watch.
watch. Yeah, so he could always feel his heart beating. He could always feel that compassion.
Yeah.
And he gives to the lion the medallion. Yeah, and the lion becomes the bravest animal in the world. Yeah, courage. But when it comes to Dorothy, she says, I can't help you.
Yeah.
I can't help you. You know, the only way I can help you is if you get into the balloon, right, and we'll fly back to Kansas. The wizard gets in first, Dorothy unties the rope and is about to get into the balloon basket, and the rope slips out of her hand and the balloon disappears. Dorothy's back to being distraught again. She's just about on the point to think, I'm going to get home and see my Auntie Em and Uncle Frank.
And she's deflated.
And then she's deflated. But the good witch comes down, yeah, and says, my dear, you've always had the power to get home by yourself. Dorothy's like, what? How? How do I do that? She says, it's on your feet. The ruby slippers. Tap, tap, I want to go home. Now, this was written in, I think it was 1903, 1904, okay? But the principle and the philosophy behind it is exactly the same for us now, okay? We have always had the power, but we haven't really understood what that power was. And the power is your picture, your language, and your emotion. Wayne Dwyer has a quote that says, you know, change your language, change your world. Yeah, change your picture, change your world. And essentially, right, that's all we ever have. Okay, our picture, our language, and our emotion. We have an internal picture of how we see the world. Right? We have an internal language of how we describe ourselves. Now, as I said earlier on, I'm 54 years of age, and for a very long time, I went through life describing myself, right? Actually, probably in the same way that my mother used to describe me. Yeah? You little sod. Right? Yeah. Always in trouble. Always in trouble. Yeah? You get to a point where you actually create that. So, for a long time, I went through life always creating trouble, because that's all I knew.
That's what you
that was the only picture and language I had. Yeah? Yeah? So, if something went really, really well, I'd be like, no, this is going too well. Yeah, this is too much now, right? And then I'd do something to make sure it all fell apart. And, you know, at some point I'll sort of tell you some of those things that I did, but not now. Okay, so I want to show you a video, if I just on my phone, there it is. So this is called You Are the Creator.
If you want to have something show up in your life, the kind of person you would like to become, manifest something new into your life, something powerful, whatever it might be, you obviously must first be able to imagine it.
Picture.
Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. So, what kind of attention do you place on your desires? Einstein's most famous quote, one of his most famous observations, he said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Logic will get you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere. Make your future dream a present fact by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That which you feel yourself to be, you are. And you are given that which you are. So assume the feeling that would be yours were you already in possession of your wish. And your wish must be realized. So live in the feeling of being the one you want to be, and that you shall be. If this assumption about what you would like to become is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is absolutely inevitable. You must first assume the feeling of a wish fulfilled in all aspects of your life. Don't allow anybody else's opinions. Don't allow what it says on the internet. Don't allow the research. Don't allow what anybody out there tells you is possible or not possible for you. If you advance confidently in the direction of your own dreams and endeavor to live the life which you have imagined, you will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. It will chase after you if you can place into your imagination what it is that you would like to attract and begin to feel it. Start retraining your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, it responds to what it is that you suggest to it.